What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about the Bitcoin bull TBB on this, the 27th day of July. Here we are with about 4 cents being the price, 10 hours, 40 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. Subscribe. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about the price action because I do think that we have some exciting stuff coming our way. We've been boring now for the past couple of days, just chilling here. It's boring, but it's not boring, right? Hanging out at these all-time high levels. On that note, we've actually not just grown in price over the past few days, but we've also grown in total holders as well. You can see down here, I can't draw an arrow down on this, so total holder count has gone up to 3,000 holders. Whenever we entered this range on the 24th, it's the 27th now, so like over the last 3 days, we've seen a 50% increase in our holder count, which is crazy. And again, you think about it, for every one person holding this coin, there's probably multiple who desire to buy this coin, but they just haven't pulled the trigger. There's multiple eyes on this for every one pair of eyes that's on this. That's my theory, at least. Again, hit that like button, subscribe. Let's get into the short-term stuff. We'll come back out to the 12-hour time frame at the end of the video. I want to start off on the 15-minute time frame. We look at the 15-minute time frame, and really, there's not a whole lot of volume. I mean, we zoom out, it's definitely more volume here than what we're accustomed to. We're definitely picking up in volume on average as we're moving higher, which is good. That's what you want to see. We've seen some of the largest spikes in volume. I think that was the largest spike on a 15-minute time frame that we've ever seen. Somebody sold like 40K worth, and then they bought back 40K worth. There were a few wallets that actually sold the lows and then bought back at higher prices in this area, and they're still holding. We could do anything. You know, we can move up, we can move down. If we move down, it's a better time to buy, and we will inevitably move up. If we move up, great. We're going to keep moving up, and I think we really are sending it for that $100 million market cap level and beyond. I think $100 million sounds nice because it's a rounded number, but really, I would rather, not rather, I do assume that we would see 120 million over 100 million as a point of resistance. I think just above 100 million would be more appropriate for the target area, but we'll get into that, okay? Moving up here, the reason why we're on the 15-minute time frame, we don't normally look at the 15-minute time frame, but 15-minute time frame here, you can see that we've taken on a bit more of a bearish shape than we typically do. Typically, you don't get oversold like this in the RSI, right? Maybe just one quick little dip, but you don't see stuff like this too often. Most of the time, that kind of stuff is reserved for the bullish side, the overbought zone. But here's the thing. We've seen our lower lows, we've seen our lower highs, we've seen this range, and as we've been in this range, we've gotten higher lows in the RSI, in this oversold zone, and we've now broken out of this range to the upside, which is a bullish indication in itself. We can see volatility. We can come down, whatever, but right now we're more postured to the upside and to get into this overbought zone. And typically, when you get into the overbought zone, you mingle with it for a little bit. You don't just get in there and get out like we do with the oversold zone, okay? Because we're in a very bullish chart, very bullish formation and structure overall. We look at this, the last time that we were overbought, that kicked off this move to the upside, okay? Then we got overbought here, but then we started to consolidate a little bit. Once we got overbought again, we went from consolidating to moving up again. We got overbought here, we moved up again, right? New all-time highs. So here, we're very, very close to getting into the overbought zone, and typically these come in droves. It's not just a one-time event, right? I think today we're going to see new all-time highs. That's effectively what I'm getting at, I think. And maybe we move down first, maybe we don't, maybe we just push up. But whenever we do get into this overbought zone, I'm expecting readings like this. I'm expecting this kind of stuff to happen, okay? Even this single one here was still really just a part of all of this right here, if it would let me draw. That's why we're focusing on the 15-minute, because there's actually a signal here that I think is reliable for some bullish expectations. I'm going to change the RSI. I thought I changed it before, but we're just going to make it a different color. That way it's not purple on purple. That way it doesn't blend so much. The MACD, a little bit volatile here. It's the 15-minute time frame. It's not really going to help us too much. You look like you're about to cross through the zero. That's bullish. That's great, whatever. But again, it's 15-minute time frame. You're choppy and sideways. It's not going to be helpful. 1 hour time frame. If you're ever on the MACD, just for anybody who's an aspiring technical analyst out there, and really any indicator, your indicators are going to be less reliable in a choppy sideways environment. Now, if this was a monthly time frame, your monthly indicators might not be useful. Your weekly indicators might not be useful. But in these moves, there's bigger moves. The daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour might have use, right? The 15-minute time frame, we're very choppy and sideways, so it's less helpful. Here on the 1 hour, it's less choppy and sideways, so it might be more helpful. Here on the 1 hour on the MACD, we're at the zero, perfect area to bounce from. Actually, we've seen that kind of instance happen a bunch of times throughout this thing's life. Here with the zero level, that's this right here. You don't have to bounce right off of it, though it looks like we're bouncing off it right now. That's great. You can bounce just below it. This still counts as bouncing off the zero. You're below it. You're below the zero, but that still counts. Same thing here. You bounced off the zero. Same thing here. You bounced off the zero. The MACD loves to find support in this area. This is what a truly bullish chart looks like. I mean, every time that we're down here. So here we are. We've reset. Bearish momentum is dying off. It's being slowed down. And we're at this point where we might bounce. We see this flip green. Again, this all culminates with that idea that we stemmed from the 15-minute time frame that we're going to break out and see new all-time highs today, potentially. If we go a little bit lower, that's fine. Again, you don't have to bounce right here, but there's definitely signals. We look at the 1 hour time frame, the RSI here. You're at the 40. Typically, the 40 is a good area for the RSI to bounce off of. We can go lower. But looking at this here, we typically do hold this level for support. And I mean, I can just draw a straight line if that helps visualize for you. But just look at all these times, just above, right at it, just below, whatever. But in this area that we find support, okay? The last time that we were here, we were down here, and we ran up and found new all-time highs. Again, coinciding with all these other signals that we're getting that seem to be bullish right now. We've got low volume. You look at the 1 hour time frame, it seems as though there's some low volume. But we zoom in, I wouldn't say it's building. I was going to say it's building. Maybe it's building a little bit. Not really too much, but it's very low volume. And we're in this kind of consolidation phase here. Whenever you're in a consolidation phase and your volume gets low, you're right at the point where you're about to break out one way or the other. We can break out to the downside. I haven't sold any TBB. I am planning on taking profits at some point here soon enough, but not in this range. I think we're going to go higher first. I just want to see how this next move performs. I don't plan on catching the top, and whenever I do take profits, I'm not going to sell a tremendous amount. I'm going to sell small amounts, probably over a multi-day period. But I've talked about this yesterday. I don't like talking about it too much because I want to talk more about the TA, but and also I don't want to ruffle any feathers or scare any potential buyers away. I do think that it's a really good time to get in. I'm taking profits because I've hit a significant milestone with the amount of percentage gains that I've had, and I just think it's on principle alone. If you get 100x, you should probably take some profits. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to leave over 95% of what I'm holding in the market, if that says anything, because I do believe we're going to continue to grow. But just taking a little bit off the top there, and probably on this next run. We'll see. You know, maybe we'll run up to 50 cents or $50 million market cap, 5.1 cents, and I'll see that we're going to go higher. I'll make a post on X whenever it happens, whenever I do take my first profits. But again, it probably won't even impact the price. The ideally that I have in my mind is that whenever I take profits, the price will keep running higher. I plan on taking profits and the price continues to run higher. That's how I plan on doing it, hopefully. But we'll see. You know, plans don't really matter. You can plan in one hand, take a dump in the other. You know what I mean? Which one's going to happen first? If you're really good at planning, the dump still probably happens first. Anyways, bouncing off of this area here, you're probably going to move up to the overbought zone. With those overbought readings, we do phenomenal things, and same thing on the MACD. It looks really good here. We're at low points in volume, and if you're like me and you're planning on taking profits, you're planning on selling or any of that stuff, you know, you've gotten into it very early. Again, I got into this thing on day one, literally day one. If the price moves down, I'm not selling. I go down, drop 50%. I'm not selling. I'm not. You're not getting my bags. Nope. Nope. Higher. I'm not going to sell to the smart money whales. I'm going to sell to eager new buyers. That's my forte. I want to sell into strength, not into weakness. Personally, 4 hour time frame. Looking at the RSI. And if just that's enough of that. Let's move on. 4 hour RSI. I did yesterday talk about how we were holding this kind of line as support, but I don't know. Are we holding this line as support, or are we holding this line as support? This kind of actually looks more clean. This looks like a cleaner line, and we're right there at support. So maybe we're finding support here now. We did have a rejection off the overbought zone, a little bit of a higher high, lower high bearish divergence scenario, but we didn't push down too much. We really didn't. That volume, whenever we came down, guys, there was so much interest in buying this thing up. We were down for like a second. I felt like it was a moment. I don't know if you were watching the chart whenever this happened, but if you were like me, there was a moment where you're looking, and I think somebody sold $60,000 worth. I think it was like literally a $60,000 sell all at once. If not, it was like multiple sells, but it was an incredible sell to the downside. People are saying 40,000, but I swear it was 60,000. There was a moment down here where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it dropped so much. And then I feel like I'm in tune with all of you. We're all looking at it like, oh God, I can't believe it dropped that much. And we're like looking at each other like, wait a second. It just dropped a lot. It's time to buy. And as soon as that realization happened, this thing just moved up so fast. And we're seeing a little bit of volatility here. The reason why, whenever you see a big drop like that, you probably had people on the fringe of selling, taking profits, and they didn't. When the price comes back up, they take their second chance. You know, maybe again they take their third chance. But you can see here higher lows. There's definitely demand, and then the volume dying off as we're moving down here. There's not as much selling pressure. There's definitely more buying pressure. Let alone the very true, very real number here that the holder count has increased by literally 50% over the past 3 days. There's definitely more demand than there is selling pressure, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Let's see if we can wrap this video up. Okay, 4-hour time frame. The RSI bouncing off the 60 looks great. Lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price. That's hidden bullish divergence. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. Bouncing off of this trend line. Good thing here, expecting one of two things out of this RSI. Either we get a lower high here or a higher high. Even if it's a lower high, that's not bearish divergence. It's not, because, again, this would be a higher high relative to this. It's not a lower high relative to this. It's too far away. Okay, it's not bearish divergence, but higher high or lower high. Higher high would be more encourageable, but whatever. It doesn't matter what happens. We're probably going to move up, and with that, getting into the overbought zone, we should see some extended growth. We should be moving up. There's a couple of thoughts running through my mind right now, okay, in regards to this. And I want to be vigilant. I want to be aware of what's going on, and I'll keep my thoughts public on X as far as all this goes. Because I won't be making videos later today. I've got things going on. From a high to a low, the 2272 is our next fib target. Okay, we got very, very, very close, and you don't have to interact with this level. It's an idea. You don't have to touch it. But if we were to find resistance here, I personally believe we would have moved down already. We wouldn't be moving up the way that we're moving up right now. We've got 2 hours, 27 minutes left. It looks like we're going to be building volume here. We'll see. You know, I think that we're starting to shape up in a bullish fashion. We'll move up. My thoughts are, we've been consolidating here for a couple days. I'm kind of under the impression that we might see a move up like this. And again, we saw this move here, which was nice. This move, which was a little bit nicer. And then this move, which was even nicer still. Could we be picking up the pace? And if we are picking up the pace, look at how close we get to this 2618, this very next fib level. This all goes back to this consolidation phase right here. If we just moved up here and we got right above this level, I would have no problem saying, okay, maybe we consolidate now. Maybe we pull back, we do whatever, and then we can come up at a later date. But what we did was we ran up. We're building momentum in the price. We're building momentum in the volume. Okay, the pace is picking up. The move itself is picking up as far as percentage growth goes. We haven't slowed down yet. Even if we slow down, we could do this where this next move isn't as big. It's a smaller move, but then we consolidate again, and then we see another move that's smaller, and then another move that's smaller, and we kind of round off. By the end of this movement, we really could be all the way up at this $123 million level. And this is why I'm saying I think we don't stop at $100 million market cap. There's going to be selling pressure there because of self-fulfilling prophecies, because of round numbers, because of psychology. It's going to happen, probably. But if you're watching this video, if you're technically minded, if you use the Fibonacci extensions as a point of guidance, I would heavily encourage you to look at what we've done with our golden ratios so far. Okay, the 2618 is your double golden extension. The 1618 is the golden ratio. And look what we did with this. We showed a lot of respect here. We flirted with this area. We consolidated around this area for a long time, and then we moved up. We didn't actually reject from here. We just consolidated there. That same reality could happen here. The golden ratio itself, we found consistent support here, and before that we found resistance not once but twice at this golden ratio. We've shown respect at our golden ratio levels throughout this whole thing's existence, okay? Based off this same fib. I can't imagine that we're going to disrespect this here. And what do I mean by disrespect? I mean, if we moved up to a $100 million market cap, that'd be 10-cent price, and then we move down, that would be kind of odd, in my opinion. If we move up here and we consolidate, and then we move up higher, okay, that can happen. We've seen that kind of stuff happen before, right? It doesn't make sense to stop here, but we really didn't. We kept moving up. I hope this is all making sense. All I'm trying to say is the 2618 really stands a chance of being our next target. Down here, I was definitely talking about 5.1 cents being the stopping point, but it's completely possible. It's even, I would say there's a statistical likelihood that from here we run up to this 2618, especially because you take into consideration, again, 50% increase in wallets over the past 3 days. The networking for TBB, what's going on with the spaces, with Jason, networking with other large influencers. You guys, there are accounts with, there are dozens of accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers, right? And just some high profile individuals in the financial world like the Cardones and others who are involved with this project, or maybe not even involved. I don't know if the Cardones are involved, but they're at least, friendly. They get on the spaces. If you're a TBB person, you go on to speak, you might be able to speak to Grant or Gary Cardone, which is pretty cool. Some financial wizards in their own right. But all I'm trying to say, and then beyond them, there's other, a lot of crypto personalities too. There's a solid community here. And when you really engage with the community, whenever you listen, whenever you're witnessing it, I don't know how many of you have been in crypto for that long, but if you've been in crypto for even like a couple of years, that true spirit of crypto, it really hasn't been around, man. You feel this vibe. It's different. It's not just euphoric bullish energy. It's like this F the financial system, F the system, support the community, bring up the people kind of vibes, which that's what Satoshi, that's what Bitcoin, that's what crypto is all about. There's this true embodiment of crypto in this TBB community. It's not just a meme coin community. It's not just about like we're all in this together. That we're all in this together vibe is ingrained in a lot of different communities, but it's different here. And if you're looking at it, you're listening, if you're paying attention, you'll see what I mean. Like it really, I've been in crypto since 2015, man. It is the essence of what crypto is, at least to me, whenever I first got in, that like Chad mentality of F the banks. We don't need the banks. We're our own people. We don't need institutions. It's ingrained in this, and that's because there's a lot of OGs who are involved in this coin. A lot of OGs who are involved in this coin, myself included. I consider myself an OG. I got in 2015. Does that make me an OG? I don't know. I consider Jason a OG. I swear he said his first time buying Bitcoin was like at $1,000, but maybe not. Maybe it was earlier. If it was, I got you beat, man. My number was 258 or 252. I can't remember. I think it was 258. But still, around that same time. Nonetheless, getting away from my own self, just enough of my own vanity. The fact that we've consolidated here, again, guys, it was the same thought down here. When you consolidate here, you're less likely going to stop in this area. And we stopped momentarily, but we always knew we were going to push through it. Now that we're consolidating here just below this area, it really builds confidence in me that we're going to send it here. And all it takes, speaking of F the institutions, it might take an institution like an exchange in crypto to acquire this thing. Maybe they are acquiring this thing and we get that news. All it takes is if not an exchange, big money, big interest to come in, and then we send this thing higher. The thing is, there's only 3,000 holders. This is on people's radars. For every large account on X that's following this thing, that's aware of what this project is and what it does and what it represents and how much it's grown, for every large account that is involved in this project, there are 2 or more large accounts who won't talk about it, who refuse to talk about it, but they're aware of it, and their community is aware of it, and they're asking, why aren't we talking about this? Oh, it's a scam. Really? It's a scam? It just went up 100x. Oh, it's just another meme coin. Oh, I don't like Jason. Oh, you don't like Jason. That's why. Okay, that's not good enough for me. I'm going to do my own research and see why this thing's pumping so much. And then again, first they laugh at you, then they hate you, then they're afraid of you or whatever, and then they join you. I don't know how that goes. I'm probably said that wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The OGs know what I'm talking about. At any rate, guys, I really do believe we can see some phenomenal growth here in the short term. Depending on what we do, I mean, if we move up to 5.1 cents, 7 cents. If we find some resistance here, we move up, we don't get a whole lot of volume, you know, there's not enough drive and we kind of like taper off. Maybe we find some resistance here and we consolidate in this area for a longer period of time before running higher. Maybe. But with the momentum we have, again, I would more expect, and I do expect, that's what's going to happen is we're going to either continue building momentum, right? We went from this low move to a nicer move to an even nicer move. We're either going to continue that pace and just send it right for $100 million right now up to that 12 to 13 cent area, or we're going to taper off, and in that tapering off, we're still going to make our way up there. We're just going to make it there in a longer amount of time. Instead of by the end of the month, it might be by the beginning of August. Personally, I don't think that you grow in momentum like this, and we're growing in momentum not just in the price but in our holder count as well. I don't think we grow in that kind of momentum and then just fall off. That kind of momentum, it needs to be, you need to apply brakes to it before it rolls over, before it comes down. So hold, don't get shaken out. Moments like this are meant to test you. They're meant to shake you out, and the weak hands have gotten shaken out. The strong hands have taken the opportunity to buy in. And again, if you're new, if this is the first time you've ever heard of TBB, or you've been on the fence but you don't know a lot about it, let me just give you the quick pitch here, man. Jason Williams is our guy. He's our guy. He's the guy that made the coin. He's the guy that bought the coin. He's the guy that owns the majority of the coin, right? It's a community-driven token, though. It's a community-driven token. It's about the community. It's about the spirit of crypto and Bitcoin and all this stuff and so much more. But this was made, I think, in inspiration to what the Ansem token was. But this is like the real deal. Ansem, there's apparently a conspiracy going on that the Ansem token was part of a marketing scheme, marketing effort from Solana, and it worked. It was a good scheme. But Ansem apparently, allegedly, did not buy all of his tokens. Some of them were, a lot of them were donated to him. And who were they donated from? The Solana Foundation, or from people who are institutions, institutional players in the crypto space, to help pump up the meme markets. And again, it's kind of like a publicity stunt. The difference here, whether you believe in that or not, is that Jason bought the tokens himself, all of them. Bought them himself. This community has grown organically through content creators like me, like people on X in the spaces. Shout out to Ron.eth, shout out to Rect, shout out to Jason himself, and Easy, and AP, and so many others, man. There's a lot of other people that are talking about it too. And I'm sorry if I'm not giving you shout outs, but shout out to everybody in the Bitcoin Bull community. It's growing organically. There's no paid KOLs. There's no paid sponsorships or anything. There's no underground hidden backdoor cabal that is trying to pull the rug on the community as soon as they get in here. This is built by the community. And me, myself, again, I bought down here. People in my community bought down here as well. And I've talked to them. I've talked to a few of them. These are top wallet holders who, like me, haven't sold a drop. They haven't sold. And some of them have. Some of them have taken profits, here and there along the way. They've taken profits down here, along the way, and the price still moves up because, again, I encourage, and I think everybody should encourage, responsible profit taking. If you come into 100x, there's no need. If you invested $1,000 and now you have $100,000, there's no need to full clip that. You're going to hurt the price. You might hurt the community, but the community is going to eat that up. So I mean, whatever pain we experience is going to be very momentary. But really, you're going to hurt yourself also. The best way to get into this thing is the same way as getting out of it, right? To get in, well, you might want to get in quickly before the price takes off. But to get in, maybe layer it in. If you're putting $100,000 into this thing, you don't want to do it all at once. You're going to get like $50,000 worth, and you're going to pump the price. You want to get in slowly. You want to get in over time. You want to take these dips as moments of opportunity to put in $1,000 or multiple thousands of dollars, whatever. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. And then same thing on the way out. You want to get out in a way that's inconspicuous because you don't want to hurt the price, you don't want to hurt the community, and you don't want to hurt yourself. The best way to get out and to get in is really to do it slowly. But I get it. Sometimes FOMO happens. It's your money. You're entitled to do with it what you want. I full clipped it down here, man. I would caused a 20% pump down here because I was ready to get in. And then I had to sit through a 50% drop. I'm rambling. I'm doing that thing I like to do at the end of the videos. But all I'm trying to say here, guys, really is that I think we have more to go. And I'm genuinely starting to believe that we don't even stop at 5.1 cents, but that we're going to go to like 12 cents or more. And from there, by the way, that's the target we've talked about as kind of like a maximum expectation. We could go to 25 cents. We could go to 45 cents. I mean, with the momentum we're building, if this next move gains in momentum, if we see something that does just take us right up to this level, it is completely possible that we go to this range. Absolutely it is. Because again, I don't think that you build momentum, build momentum, build momentum, and then it's death. I mean, I kind of just drew a parabolic rally. You do have blow off tops and parabolic rallies, but typically you see some tapering off. That's all I'm trying to say. We'll see. We'll look at the signs. We'll look at the charts and see what's going on. Keep an eye on everything. I expect that we're going to see some tremendous growth, probably starting today. And how high do we go? Maybe we stop at 5.1 cents. We stop just above this area. That can happen, and we consolidate some more, and then we continue to rally. Maybe we just push right through. But I'm repeating myself. I'm a broken record. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.